You know, some people go out and adopt a pet. And then there are others who have a pet adopt them. Our story is definitely the latter, or so we thought. This little guy didn't just adopt us, he executed a long-term, perfectly planned operation to secure not one, but two full-service resorts for his personal enjoyment. He's the ultimate negotiator, and we were just his willing clients. He was a smooth operator. There was no desperation, just a quiet, persistent presence. It started subtly. He'd follow our dog Walker home, hang out on the porch. Then he'd allow a few head scratches. He'd trail behind us on our walks, keeping a respectful distance. Eventually, he graduated to darting inside the moment the door was open. He'd stay for a bit, then leave. Soon, he was staying the night. We set up a little makeshift bed for him, then a dedicated food bowl. Before we knew it, he was sleeping soundly on the dog's bed, completely owning the place. He was this charming guest who would arrive in the evening, have dinner, sleep over, and then politely see himself out in the morning. We'd just shrug and say to each other, he must have another family he goes home to. We were convinced he was just our part-time community cat. He just kept coming back, and we couldn't resist. But then there were the absences. He'd disappear for a day, sometimes two. The first time it happened, we were genuinely worried. We walked around the neighborhood calling his name, which we'd affectionately started calling Bandit. Then, just as we were starting to really panic, he'd swagger back up the driveway, completely nonchalant, like nothing happened. We'd jokingly tell him, "You're grounded, mister," while, of course, immediately giving him his favorite treats. We just thought he was off exploring, being a typical cat. We had no idea he was just clocking out of his shift at our house and clocking in for duty somewhere else. The injury was the turning point. One afternoon, he limped up the driveway, clearly in pain. Our hearts just sank. We scooped him up and rushed him straight to the local animal shelter to get him checked out. They did a scan for a microchip, hoping to find an owner, but the scan came back negative. No chip. Right then and there, we made the decision. As soon as he was healed, he was officially 100% ours. No more part-time stuff. We started browsing online for personalized collars and fancy new beds. We were ready to be his forever home. Meanwhile, the shelter had to hold him for the required stray period, just in case an owner came forward. And then, we got the message. It was a text from an unknown number. It said, "Hi, we live across the street. Have you seen a gray tabby?" Attached was a photo. And it was him. It was unmistakably our Bandit. We stared at the picture, then at each other. Our Bandit was also there, Smokey. The shelter had posted his picture online as a found cat, and our neighbors had seen it. It was a surreal moment. We met on the sidewalk between our houses, just comparing stories in total disbelief. His schedule was impeccable. It all started to make sense. He'd have weekday lunches with us, then head over to their place for dinner. Nights were apparently split based on which door he managed to charm his way through first. He had 2 names, 2 beds, 2 sets of toys, 2 different food brands he loved. He had played us against each other in the most adorable racket imaginable. He was living a double life. So Tuesday nights he was with you? Yeah, and weekends he was definitely here. We just stood there laughing. Since no one technically claimed him during the stray hold at the shelter, we went ahead and officially adopted him. We had the paperwork. But it just felt wrong to completely cut off his other family. They loved him too. So, we created a partnership. We had a custody meeting right there on the lawn. We agreed on supervised outdoor time, splitting vet costs, and most importantly, that he was free to visit both homes whenever he pleased. He is now the only cat on the block with a formal co-parenting agreement. He's got 2 sets of humans to spoil him rotten and 2 different dogs to terrorize. He played the long game, and he won. He got everything he ever wanted. This whole fluffy situation really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who really owns a creature that so clearly refuses to be owned? In our human world, we think in terms of possession, it's my cat, my dog. But this cat, our Bandit, our Smokey, he operated on a completely different principle, community resources. Was he morally wrong for deceiving 2 families? Or were we the ones who were wrong for assuming an independent spirit could ever really belong to just one household? Was the cat's double life a betrayal, or was it a clever survival strategy that, in the end, benefited everyone? It really challenges our ideas of what ownership and love mean. This cat didn't break our trust, he actually expanded our capacity for it. He turned neighbors we barely knew into co-parents, into friends. In his own furry, manipulative way, he built a bigger family for himself, and in doing so, he built one for us too. Can love, like a clever cat, simply refuse to be contained by a single fence? What's your verdict on this furry freeloader and the community he created? We dissect the heartwarming and the hilarious. Weigh the evidence and deliver your judgment. Subscribe to The Verdict Zone.